hey, weren't the last few weeks a time of simplicity that, in a sense, whether things were taken away from us or whether we sort of separated ourselves from the many things that we do, that life got really simple? In the 1930s, a priest named Jose Maria Escriva, he wanted to start a different understanding or a movement of what the Christian mission is. That he didn't want to start an order or some system of Christian living, but he rather just wanted to help people understand that when we do the very simple things in life, we are doing what God wants us to do. And that we tend to overlook that stuff and say, oh, washing clothes, ironing, cooking a meal, doing dishes, sweeping the floor, making our beds. That's just stuff that we have to do, and it's a bother. But he said, no, these are things that we do for Christ because we're doing them for a purpose, often to help others, often to keep order in our lives, so our homes don't look chaotic. So he said, when you wake up at night as a mom or dad and you have to burp a baby or feed him or change his diapers, he says, it's not just you're changing diapers or feeding a baby. You're doing what God wants you to do. You're doing the work of God. And you say, well, I'm just changing a diaper and washing that. He's like, that's what God wants us to do. That's the work of God. That baby needs you to do that. And so when you're doing some things as simple as that, if you do them for God's sake, then you are doing the work of God. In the Feast of the Ascension, when Jesus ascended into heaven, he left behind his church, his apostles, and he says, now go do my works. Yeah, they did some miracles. They did travel, and there were some phenomenal things, okay? But the main thing they did was they gathered, they prayed, and they shared. Just simple things. They told stories. They passed on stories. Life is really pretty simple, folks. And God is in that simplicity. He wants us to do his works, his Opus Dei in Latin, which means the works of God. The great work of God is in the simple things. I hope we found some of those during this time in which we sort of simplified our lives and maybe separated ourselves from our normal duties and work and such. And now with that knowledge that God is in those very simple things, let's see how that affects our lives and our outlook when we start, getting more involved in some of the things that we previously, were very much involved with. So do the work of God. It's pretty simple. It's me talking to you right now. This is the work of God.